Hey guys, welcome back to the show. You know, this week on Formers Friday, I was actually planning on doing something else. I was going to do a completely different review. But I had a birthday this week. Thank you. And somebody actually sent me this Transformers Masterpiece Acid Storm as a birthday present. And I thought, I really don't want to wait to open this thing up and play with it. I'd like to play with it right now. So, this week, we're taking a look at Acid Storm. So let's hop in here, get a close-up view on him. The box is the older style Masterpiece box. Well, I say older style. Last year, I guess, year and a half ago. It's got this cardboard strip in the middle and then the box underneath, similar to how they did Soundwave. That's the other one I have that's in this same type format. You've got your stats on the side and a little bit of information about them, and then your pictures there. I like this packaging. I think it really stands out. It looks really cool. And then I also like the way that you can have all the other product information on this strip. If you take this strip off, then you've got a perfect box for storing it away and just keeping it safe. So anyway, this is advanced level 3, so definitely will not be transforming it on camera because kids don't need to hear me swear. But nonetheless, let's open this puppy up and take a look on the inside. Actually, I don't think I need to take this part off to get it open. I just need to cut the tape here on the side. 2 pieces on either side. So let's start over here and just pull at this tape. Yeah, I know, you can grab a knife, you can cut that tape, but I'm a man, and so I'm gonna do this the real man way, and that is to just kind of pick at it and then complain when it doesn't work right. But then when you finally get it open, pretend like there was a sense of accomplishment, like you actually did something bold with your life. So there we go. We got it open here. Let's slide him out and take a look. Wow. Now, I'm used to opening a Transformer and seeing it in robot mode. Seen it here in vehicle mode. Alt mode is pretty cool. We've got our instructions, MP01. I'm just gonna go out here on a wild guess. I guess that if you have a Masterpiece Starscream or Thundercracker or any one of those jets, it's gonna be probably the exact same instructions. Because I believe they're all just redecos. But nonetheless, alright, so what do we got here? We've got a jet, we've got some sort of display stand, and we've got rockets and missiles and whatnots. And the whatnots are always the fun part. More tape, because you don't want these things coming loose inside the package where they're not going to be able to open anyway. Let's see, pull out this stand. Jet. Oh, already lost a piece. Pulling it out. Rockets. Alright. Throw this stuff in there. Where's my... There's this piece. This piece just snaps right in here, apparently. Okay. So it can move. So, no real damage done. The first thing that strikes me is the size. You know, it's a Masterpiece. Masterpiece toys are bigger, but I've never had a Masterpiece jet. This is the first jet I've ever had in Masterpiece line, and so it just strikes me how big this thing actually is. This is a good size figure, although I'm also struck at how plastic it is. I thought there'd be a little more, you know, die-cast metal in it, but there is not, and of course that may be some sort of, you know, cost-cutting thing that they do just to make it, you know, a little more profitable for them. But overall, I like the look. I like the modern camouflage design. This is obviously for jungle runs, not for the desert. And I like how the bottom, one of the problems I have a lot of times with the alt modes of certain Transformers is at the bottom, it makes it real easy. You've got a face usually sticking out, or you've got hands sticking out. Now you can see these are the hands there, but they've got them folded up nicely, pretty well hidden. The head is turned around, so you don't see a face or anything. So this, you look at the bottom, and it's just mechanical parts. So I'm actually fine with that. It looks like, yep, we even have the landing gear here. This is pretty cool. Now, I know this toy came out a while ago. A lot of you guys have probably already watched a ton of videos about them on YouTube, but just keep in mind, I have not. I generally don't watch a lot of other videos. I just don't have time most of the time, so I know since this is old, a lot of people have done videos, but this is all new to me. I've never looked into this before, never saw it before. So then you've got some landing gear in the front and these two wheels back here, so he can land safely and roll. That's pretty cool. All right, and then we've got his flaps here that move on the wings. These aforementioned parts that can come off, they fit back here, can flip up. I'm sure part of the transformation involves that, not jet mode. You can move these a little bit. That's kind of cool. They do have a little bit of movement in there. And I'm sorry if I keep going off the screen. I keep looking at the toy instead of looking through the camera lens, and that of course throws me off and I'm looking at the wrong spot. I got to keep remembering to look through the camera lens. Alright, so anyway, landing gear out, landing gear back in. That's a pretty good looking jet plane right there. Now, as far as these rocket things go, they've got to have some sort of spot to put them in. And we've got our stand here. Our stand with Acid Storm proudly emblazed on it. We've got your Decepticon logo, and then we've got these spots where I'm guessing these things go in. It looks like we also have a tiny little Microman pilot in there. That's pretty cool. That's something you don't see. I'm actually going to have to try him later, see if I can fit him into Optimus Prime in the cab. But anyway, alright. So we've got a little guy, a little Microman. I'll bring in Microman so you can see him. He's wearing his flight gear. Whoop. And he appears to just be a tiny hollow piece of plastic, but he's still got a pretty good amount of detail. You can see how ugly my thumbs are, sorry about that. But then there's the Microman guy. He's in really good shape there. We've got some sort of clip. I have to figure out what that's for, and then our stand. And I can see that our stand here has two spots, so depending on, I guess, how you're going to display him, maybe, robot mode versus jet mode, you decide that. So, alright, let's take a quick look here at the instructions. I gotta figure out where those rockets go in here. Don't see a spot for them. Alright, let's see. We've got our landing gear. Display stand. Okay, that makes sense. Landing gear. Hidden missile pods. Hidden missile pods. In here somewhere. What are the hidden missile pods? It says. Huh. That's doesn't seem like much of a what the heck? Is this thing lying to me? Okay, that's a transformation. These are the features. One of the things about the Masterpiece I've noticed is that a lot of them have more features than they give you instructions for, and you're just supposed to figure them out on your own, as if, you're just going to sit there and play with them and one day spontaneously figure something out, which, I mean, on the one hand, I guess is kind of cool that you're going to find extra stuff, but on the other hand, it's like, just tell me, Let me know what's going on. Alright, nose cone opens. I guess that's supposed to be some kind of gun. Some kind of machine gun or something in there. I don't know. But okay, so the cone does that. It says there are hidden missile pods. And it shows this flipping down, but I flip them down and they don't really seem to do much. And I can't get them to do anything else. Hidden missile pods. And you point these down. I have no idea. No, that's part of the transformation. I have no idea how this is a hidden missile pod, flipping those down. That doesn't seem to do anything at all. Now this opens. Does that have something in there? That's interesting. I guess part of the transformation that will come later. But this doesn't help with the hidden hidden missile pods that are supposedly in here that don't exist. What the heck is up with that? No idea how these are supposed to be hidden missile pods in here. I see absolutely nothing that would suggest to me that there's some sort of missile pod. It doesn't come off. It doesn't do anything. So obviously there's something I'm missing. Probably go watch one of the other videos. Someone's probably figured it out. But I just don't see. This doesn't want to turn any more than this. That's as far as it wants to go. And if I try harder, I'm trying to force it to see if it'll keep going, but it just won't. It's stopped. That's as far as it moves. There is a piece of plastic in the middle holding that, keeping that from flipping down completely, and it just doesn't do anything. Alright, so whatever that feature is supposed to be, hidden missile pods, I guess the US version doesn't have that, but it's still in the instructions? That just seems really weird. Alright, well, nonetheless, we have these rockets here that, I don't know, are these supposed to interface with this somehow? I don't see how these fit in there. So there's nothing, I just don't see, like this feature, hidden missile pods, and these rockets, they just don't seem to go together at all. Now it looks like you could take these missiles here, manipulate them somehow. I was thinking maybe you could move them out of the way and hook these other rockets up, or you could just pop the whole thing off right here on camera in front of everybody. That seems like a good plan. Hey everybody, look, Doofus can't figure out his transformer. Ugh. All right, let's try. Yeah, that goes. All right, that pops up there. The way it's angled, you can't do anything else. I thought maybe these would fit in under there, but I don't see any way to make them fit in there. With these being hidden missile pods, nothing. These don't. This doesn't go in there anyway. So I don't know what the heck that's about. Maybe we can find out later. All right, canopy. The canopy is supposed to open, and the Microman guy. Hey, this one actually works. All right. So the little Microman guy can go into the cockpit. Of course, he's all green, which I guess makes sense. I don't know. But he goes in there and he fits. And all right. So there you go. So I guess, what is it? Staff Sergeant and Master Sergeant are the names of the guys who would fly this. I don't know where the other dude is. He's missing. He's AWOL. Guess he understood that these guys were evil Decepticons. Okay, so let's take our base here, and we've got our little stand. We can slide it in on the side there, and then it just shows it hooking in to the bottom somewhere in here. So somewhere in here is where this is supposed to hook up. I guess there's the hole. So we take that hole and line it up with the green peg there, and that's just supposed to flip right in there. Just go right in. Just pop right in there and push, and it doesn't want to hold. It is not. Alright, so that's what she said. Can't get it in there. Ha ha ha. There's your joke for the day. But seriously, this does not. That's showing exactly where it's supposed to go, and I can see that that's where it's meant to go, but it's not fitting in there very well. Here, let's adjust this a little bit. Once you get it in there, though, I think it looks okay. It looks pretty good sitting there the way it is. So I can't complain a whole lot about that. I think it looks fine, and of course we've got our extra missiles here that I still can't find a spot for. I'm looking on the pictures to find a spot for them. I don't see. Oh, aha! These go on the base. These fit down in here. Maybe they have something to do in robot mode that they don't do in the vehicle mode. But there you go. Alright, so then our dude goes in here, just like it shows us. And then we are still left with this mysterious round clip. I'm looking at the instructions. I don't see a spot for this clip anywhere. I don't see any spot that shows it on any of these. And I'm looking on this side real quick for the instructions. Nothing. So this little round clip obviously does something. It attaches to something somewhere within this robot or in the jet plane, and somehow it does something to make something clip into something, but it doesn't say. It doesn't say anywhere. And like I said, it's not fitting on there. I guess here's a hole, so I guess you can put it there, so you could clip something on there. But what you would clip and why, I don't know. And maybe you could take these, since it has a small little peg hole, and nope, that's not gonna work. Okay, so we have these rockets that don't seem to do anything. As I knock over the camera. See, maybe I'm drunk. I don't know. All right. Getting flustered and frustrated, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to go ahead and use the magic of video editing. We're gonna turn this guy from this jet plane into the robot mode, and then we're going to see if maybe we can figure out what some of these things do and if it makes more sense in the long run. So here we go with the benefit of video editing. All right, robot. Woo, let's take a look. All right, guys, this thing literally took me like a half hour to figure out how to transform. Part of the problem was criticism I've had of other Masterpiece figures in the past is that the instructions are pretty much garbage. They're not very clear, and he comes in vehicle mode and it shows you how to change him from robot mode to vehicle mode, so you have to do everything backwards, which, considering how bad the instructions are, doesn't always work the best. Now, a couple things. First of all, I found out where the pods are, the extra missile pods. On the instructions it shows it as being this piece, which moves a little bit, and that's supposed to somehow be it, but as it turns out that has nothing to do with it. It's this piece here underneath his nipples. There are your extra missile pods underneath the nipples. So there you go. There's something fantastic for you there. One of the problems here is that the wing on the back, there's nothing for them to tab into and attach to. And on this side, when I try to move this wing, I can feel some tension. Down here in this little joint on that metal bar, the plastic clip is actually providing some tension to hold it in place. On this side, that tension is non-existent. This thing just flips around like nobody's business. And I saw this little piece here. I thought maybe there was something supposed to tab into it, but there's nothing there to attach. It's all in the tension down here, and I don't understand why this side has it, this side doesn't. I don't know how to fix that. If there's something I can, some way I can bend this, pop it out and bend it and put it back in, that maybe will provide the tension it needs to stand there. But my expectation was I was going to turn it in robot mode and leave it in robot mode, but I mean, this, kind of tough to do, so I may put it back in jet mode just to display it. But having said that, I think in robot mode here he actually looks really cool. It does have the whole Masterpiece hand thing going on, so you've got your pointer finger and you've got your thumb that move around. You can do a lot of movements with. The rest of the hand, though, is it's kind of like a mitten. You've got your one finger and then the rest are all together, I guess, so nobody can do like middle fingers, have it flipping the bird at people. So they do that, but I do like overall the way those hands work. I think that works pretty cool. There's no place for the pilot, though. I was hoping there might be some good place. You can't leave him in the cockpit because the cockpit actually folds behind itself. I was hoping there might be a good spot to stick him, but there's really not. I mean, that's about as good as it gets, is up there. So he's got to have a home while they're in robot mode. And again, this clip, there's no home for it. Absolutely nothing for it to do when it's in robot mode. So I still don't know why this thing is here. The only thing I can think of is maybe in the Japanese release, you hook this on the nose cone and there was something that went in there, some kind of extra gun, or like what they've done with some of the other figures where maybe you're supposed to, in a different, you get Starscream or something and there's some sort of extra gun that you can use to attach. And they give you this extra clip and you're supposed to use the same gun from the other release or whatever. But regardless, here's this little extra clip I'm left with nothing to do with. And some people may know what all this stuff is for, but I think, if you have to go on the internet and search just to figure out what these pieces are for, that kind of, defeats a lot of the quality assurance that comes with buying one of these more expensive figures, because it should be self-explanatory in the instructions that come in the package. You shouldn't have to do extra research to figure out what your toy does. But anyway, overall, in robot mode, I think he does look really cool. Now, like I said before, this is the first one of these jets I've had. I don't have a Starscream or anything like that. Never went through any of those. So this being my first guy, he is very plasticky, and it kind of makes it difficult when you're transforming him, especially with the instructions being not so clear, because it's hard to tell sometimes if you're moving him the way he's supposed to be moving or if you're breaking him, because of the plastic, you really don't want to break him too much. We do have, let's see, now that he's in this mode, I can see now that these rockets that are back here, there's a hole and then this little rectangle, which does match with that. So it looks like you can attach them. So maybe when I put them back in jet mode, there's some way of wrangling these rockets, these guns, missiles, whatever. There's maybe some way to wrangle these around where you leave space for these to attach, but that does seem to be where they are supposed to go if you can get your wing to keep from flapping over. Another weird thing about him when I'm transforming him is if we get a close-up on his head here, his little ear mutton chop things here, these actually are on springs, and there's a part where you're transforming him and you've got to get the head basically to come through this little birth canal here, or whatever, this little hoop, and the only way to get it through is to squeeze the head so that his sideburns here go through. His bouffant gets out of the way and he can go through that little hole. The problem is there's nothing in the instructions that explains, hey, push those things in. So it just sits there and it seems stuck. And for several minutes I'm trying to figure out how is this stupid head supposed to go through, and then the head actually popped off and I could see the springs on the inside, and that's when I realized that you're supposed to squeeze that. But again, nothing in the instructions tells you that you're supposed to squeeze that. So same problem I had with Soundwave with his instructions, how it's just not very clear and it makes it very difficult to figure out what to do. I still wish there was some better way to fix this wing and make it stick. I don't know, put a piece of tape on it maybe or something. I thought maybe they would have like magnets, and the magnets would help hold it, but it looks like the one thing I'm going to be able to do is put a little bit of extra tension on here, kind of twist this part of the wing out this direction, and then try to fold it down a little bit so that bar is kind of cockeyed when it's in there, and that seems to add a little bit of tension to it to help kind of keep it from flopping over too much. But it will be one of those things sitting on my shelf, if there's the right, semi-truck goes down the street or, something happens, it will make it loose enough that it's going to flop down. The back is a little uninspiring because you do have these you know, giant screws that just stick out very blatantly. It's very blank. It is mostly green. The nose cone and this back piece don't really fold out of the way anywhere. They just kind of stick out, which is, you know, not the best looking look. Although I do like the foot pads. These foot pads are actually hidden in the leg. You do fold them out to put them down, so that is nice. That gives it extra stability that it needs to stand there. And I did notice here on the figure stand that this figure stand has a hole up here, and there's a little peg on his butt. He's got a little turtle head poking out there, and it does look like this will fit, well, more or less fit. It's, again, one of those things that you have to kind of wrangle with to get it. Although I'm a little weirded out when I put him on the stand this way. If I was going to display him like this, I don't know, something about it just seems a little wrong somehow, because his feet aren't anywhere close to the base. There's actually some space there, which I guess is supposed to maybe convey that he's flying, because he is a jet, so in robot mode he can still fly. So maybe you're supposed to get that idea from it, but to me it just feels like a stability issue. I would just be afraid of the tension hitting that clear peg going right underneath his crotch there, and I'd just be kind of afraid that over time that was going to wear on it. Now granted, this thing isn't super heavy because it is mostly plastic, and this piece of plastic is pretty thick, and it is reinforced by thick edges on there, but just overall it just seems kind of hinky. That's the best word for it, as my friends in Chicago would say, just kind of hinky. Now his hips do ratchet, and I believe the knees have some ratchet in there. So if you're going to pose him, that helps to hold him in place in however you're going to display him. And again, overall, I think he is a really good looking figure. I think that small problems aside with the plastic and some of these big screws appearing through, if I maybe had you know, a green Sharpie or a little bit of paint, I might just dab those with a little bit of green. Even if the green didn't match up perfectly, even if it's a little darker or a little more yellow, I would just go ahead and dab those just to help you know, make them blend in a little better than they are. But those certain issues aside, I think it is a nice looking figure. There's a lot of detail, especially going on. Again, I like the modern camouflage style. I know some people don't, but I do. And I like the big blockiness of it. You know, I've talked about that before, how I enjoy that with the G1 designs, and on a masterpiece like this, I like how the masterpieces are keeping faithful to that G1, how you are getting those big blocky designs to them. I don't like the thin Bayformers style, the Prime style on a lot of them. I do like the bulk, the heft, the way they look like they are really geared up for battle. So as far as it goes overall, I am pretty happy with the figure. This was a great gift. I love it. Thank you. This makes it a really great birthday gift. I think that's awesome. And, you know, overall, I do like the design of it. I just don't know. I do like to play with my toys, and I do like to flip them a lot of times. Because they are Transformers, I do like to transform them. I don't know how much I'd actually transform this one, because I'd be afraid of some of the plastic snapping because it doesn't fit that well, but I think it is definitely a very good looking toy. Alright, that's going to do it for today, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget to go to popculturenetwork.com. Check out more reviews, some columns, comic books, video games, toys, all of that kind of great stuff there. You can also go to jointheforums.com, the official forums of the Pop Culture Network. Talk to all the other great toy people out there. If you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on Twitter. It's @PCN_Dirt, because this is the Pop Culture Network and I am Dirt. So that makes that easy enough. And if you want to leave a voicemail message, you can call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025, which reminds me, someone left us a voicemail the other day, and I haven't actually bothered to listen to it yet, so I should do that. I'm going to get on that, because someone left a message. But anyway, that's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.